You're watching the Trojan Network.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Trojan Network for tonight's contest between your Gordon Lee Trojans and the LaFayette Ramblers. We've got a good contest for you tonight. Both teams come in 1-0. Trojans beat their rival Tryon last week, and the Ramblers got a nice win to start the season against Chattooga. But before we get into this week's action, let's take a look at some of the highlights from last week's game against Tryon. Sorry about that, folks. Lost internet there just for a minute. We are about to get underway. Hopefully you're able to catch some of those highlights from last week. Again, Trojans got a big win against the Tryon Bulldogs to start the season 1-0. Looking to go 2-0 tonight as we take on the LaFayette Ramblers here in beautiful downtown Chickamauga, Georgia. As you can see, Gordon Lee Trojan Marching Band has formed the traditional L and awaiting the Trojan football team and cheerleaders to make their way down for the L. Clock's down to about 7 minutes before we get this game cranked up. Cheerleaders are making their way with the flag to get ready to run through the L. Just waiting on the players for both LaFayette and Gordon Lee to make their way down. While we're waiting on that, let's get a little recap from the this week in sports here. So softball team open region play this week with wins over Armurchie and Chattooga. They're currently ranked number 1 in the state, and they play this weekend in the Altoona tournament against Lassiter and Buford. Volleyball team is also currently ranked number 1 and has started the season 6-2. This week, the Lady Trojans went 3-1 with clean sweeps over Unity, Boyd Buchanan, and Sand Rock, Alabama. Cross Country's got their first event coming up tomorrow at Heritage. So excited for what the Trojan Nation's got going on from a sports perspective. But tonight is all about football. Before we get rolling, I want to give a shout out to the crew for Trojan Network. Behind the camera, Mr. Ricky Millard. Behind the scoreboard, the digital scoreboard, Mr. A.J. Edmondson. Doing quality work. And then on camera, down there on the field, I want to give Keisha a shout out. Millard, she's done a phenomenal job last week, added that to our program, got a lot of positive feedback. So thank you so much for that. Hope we get some more great shots tonight. Still waiting on the Trojans and Ramblers to make their way out to the field. Again, sorry about the technical difficulties early this evening. Hopefully you were able to catch a good bit of the highlights. Before we get started, let me thank the sponsors for the Trojan Network. First, we want to thank Greg Payne Mortgage Team, Beth Price with Keller Williams, Water Sucks, Local Storage, North Georgia Technical College, Jessica Parrish with TVFCU, Chitter Chatter, Jimmy Sprayberry with Covenant Insurance, Honey Plus June Boutique, Crawfish Springs Custom Cabinetry and Millworks, Jordan Dupree United Real Estate Experts, the Trojan Club, Jat Energy, Real Estate Partners, Burke French Homes, Summit Physical Therapy, the Local Beard Company, and a special shout out to Taylor Photography, who cut us a deal and made all the commercials that you'll see throughout the night tonight. So really, really appreciate all the sponsors for the Trojan Network. Subscribers are up to about 1,010 now, so lots of folks watching at home, which is great exposure for our band, our cheerleaders, and our football players, as well as the school in general. So shout out to everybody for that. I do see the Ramblers making their way out of the visiting locker room, donned in all whites, black helmets. Nope, not all white, sorry. White jersey, black pants, black helmet. And the Trojans donning navy pants, navy jerseys, and the traditional white helmet with the GL. All the seniors are going to be walking down the line here as honorary captains. We'll have 4 that make their way to the center of the field. The senior class has done a lot for the program. Coach Groce wants to recognize them each and every game, so all of the seniors come out. Looks like we got 2 seniors we haven't got to talk a lot about so far this year, both not dressed tonight. Number 11, Hurley McAllister. Number 44, Cole Derryberry. Hopefully we'll get both of them back soon. But this senior class is loaded, as well as this junior class, which bodes well for the Trojans from an experience standpoint. A lot of these young men have started for multiple seasons already. Rest of the Trojans are falling in behind the cheerleaders. Looks like this week's captains will be the same as last week. Number 33, Lane Vaughn. Number 1, Landon Norton. Number 9, Peyton Groce. And number 53, Griffin Moore. Looks like number 24, 29, 5, and 77 will come out for LaFayette. We'll get the traditional handshake before the game, before we get to this coin toss. Looks like officials having some words with the players here. Sure, talking about keeping it a clean and fair contest tonight. Last year's game was marred by tons of unsportsmanlike conduct from both teams. Game got a little cantankerous, but the coaches were able to get it under control. Trojans were able to win that football game, but I can promise you practice the following Monday was not fun for the Trojans as Coach Groce continues to preach discipline to the team. I think they learned a valuable lesson last year and would expect to see the Trojans play hard and clean tonight. Officials are still chatting down there. Not sure what they're talking about before we can get this coin flip going. Looks like he's showing each team the coin. Obviously, LaFayette will get to make the call as the away team. They do make the call. Looks like the Trojans are going to win the toss. And they are going to defer. So our Trojans will go on defense first, which is something Coach Groce traditionally likes to do, likes to get the defense out on the field first, send a message early, and then go from there. Last week, the Trojans actually got the football first, went 3 and out, then gave up a pretty quick touchdown, but was able to recover from that. All right, Trojans' final handshakes. These seniors will all head back into the group with the mass of Trojans behind the cheerleaders as the band will begin to fire up here in just a minute, and we will get this Friday night kicked off. The weather this evening has cooled off quite a bit. Still warm, still would expect some cramping. However, last week, for anybody who was watching, our Trojans avoided those cramps till late in the third quarter thanks to Water Sucks. Here comes the Trojans running through that L. Love the all-blue Nike fits they have on tonight. The Trojans are going to need to take this game incredibly serious tonight. It was a close game last year when it was not expected to be. Trojans are going to get out in front early tonight and maintain that lead throughout the game. Band will start to make their way off the field. Game clock is set to 12 minutes. Looking across the stadium, I see some veterans here. One of my favorite Gordon Lee football players, Matt Cooper, down in the stands. See him down there with his wife, Stephanie. Trojan band makes its way off. We'll get to see them again at halftime, performing Neon Ocean. Stay tuned for that. Believe the Rambler band will also be performing at halftime. We won't go anywhere for that. We want to make sure that we get a good look at this year's program from the band. They've been working extremely hard. So the Ramblers are set and ready to return this kick. Looks like they're going to have number 23 and number 2 deep. Looks like upbacks are going to be number 14. Can't make out the upback on the other side. Expect one of those 4 players to get the football here. Kicking off for the Trojans, Ira Grimes. Grimes was 3 for 3 last week on extra points. Has not attempted a field goal yet, but excellent job from a field goal perspective, or extra point perspective last week. 3 for 3 again, had some nice kickoffs. See if we can get tonight started off just the same. Trojans are ready to go. Ball sits on the 40-yard line. Whistles are blown, and this game is underway. Going to be a short, high kick. It's going to fall at the 25-yard line. Trojans are going to recover. Number 20, Dylan Curry, recovers the fumble. And that, my friends, is a Summit Physical Therapy turnover. Nice job there by Grimes. Nice pop-up kick to the 20. The upback ran forward. Ball hit at about the 20 bounce. Curry was able to hop on it. And even though the Trojans deferred, they're now 1st and 10 inside Rambler territory, sitting at the 25-yard line. Looks like at the bottom of your screen, you're going to have number 6, Garrett Ross. Top of your screen, number 1, Landon Norton. Peyton Groce in the backfield. Looks like you're going to have number 3, Logan Price, playing that tight end H-back position. Here's a handoff to Groce right up the middle. Gets hit early, but falls forward. Picks him about 2 yards to the 23-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd and 8. Last week early, the Trojans struggled to run the football. Began to do some pulling with that tight end position in the second half and started to stack up some yards. We'll see what the Trojans do here. Again, single receiver top and bottom. Another handoff to Groce. He breaks a couple. Would expect this to be 2-down territory for the Trojans. Looks like Groce, the speedster's going to come out. Helmet got knocked off. Number 33, Vaughn's going to come in here to run the football. Trojans tried to draw LaFayette offsides. Actually were quite successful last year. I believe 4 or 5 offsides penalties on LaFayette last year. Not successful that time. But expect this ball to get handed to Lane up the middle. He does get the ball, takes it to the outside. It's going to be an easy first down and potentially a touchdown for Vaughn. He breaks the tackle, runs out of bounds at about the 4-yard line. So that'll be 1st and goal from the Trojans from the 4-yard line. Nice run there by Vaughn. Good blocking. Nice seal on the edge there by number 54, which is, I'm sorry, my roster's in the way. Number 54 is Will Chambers. Nice seal block there by him. Then Logan Price as well on the outside, springing Vaughn there. Vaughn's going to stay in. Looks like we're going to go into the Wildcat with Peyton Groce. Number 12, Day, comes off the field. Looks like we actually have Vaughn playing quarterback here. He's going to keep this ball running up the middle. We're going to take it down to the 3-yard line. It's only a pickup of a yard there with that Wildcat. First time we've seen Vaughn in that Wildcat quarterback position. Typically we're going to see Peyton Groce run that, or potentially Luke Teeters, who had a big run last week. Not what we did there, though. Looks like we're going to stay in it with Groce and Vaughn in the backfield. Looks like Groce is going to be in that quarterback position this time. Here's a snap. It's going to be a handoff to Vaughn up the middle. Dives. They're going to put it down at about the 1-foot line. So that's going to bring up 3rd and goal. From about the 1-foot line. Not sure what happened there. Logan Price ended up on top of the football. But I think it came out after Vaughn was already down. Would expect a quarterback sneak here from Day. Had one last week for a touchdown. Going to go here. Drive in. And that is a touchdown for your Gordon Lee Trojans. So after 2 Beth Price, Kelly Williams first down, we top it off with a Jordan Dupree United Real Estate Experts touchdown. That's the 2nd touchdown of the season for Day. Good quarterback sneak there. Really solid job there. So Trojans are going to take a 6-0 lead. Grimes set to take the shot at the extra point to make it 7-0 Trojans. Again, Clock sits at 9:40. Trojans kicked off, recovered the kickoff, and scored on their opening possession. So much better start to this week's game than last. Here's the snap. He's down. Kick is up. Kick is good. Ira Grimes is now 4 for 4 on the season. That one went a good 20 yards past the uprights. Grimes showing that boot. Some really good start there for the Trojans. Again, recap. Grimes kicked a nice, high, short kickoff. Up back, decided to run forward to block. Nobody fielded it. Dylan Curry dove on it to give the Trojans the possession. And then runs by Groce, Vaughn, and Day resulted in the ball matriculating down the field. And in 6 points for the Trojans, capped off by the extra point by Grimes. Trojans could not have asked that to go any better. Looks like the Trojans are about to kick off here. Coach Hodson's down there drawing on the board. Not sure what he was showing number 3 Price there. We'll see if they've got something planned here for this kickoff or something defensively they were talking about. We haven't seen the Trojan defense yet. Potentially could see them after this kickoff unless the Trojans can recover this ball. Grimes ready to kick. This one's going to be kicked deep. Going to be fielded at about the 7-yard line by number 28. He's going to juke and jive. Going to get swallowed whole, I believe, by number 6, Garrett Ross. Down at the 17-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Ramblers inside their own 20. Great kickoff there and coverage by the Trojans. So now we'll get to see the Trojans defense. Let's talk a little bit about who we've got. Defensive line, I want to shout out right now, Garrett Ross, number 6, defensive end. Number 70, Joseph Mason. At tackle, looks like we've got number 45, Sean Harms-Benefold playing end, and then number 58, my man Eli Hasty. LaFayette runs the wing tee. Going to be a keeper by the quarterback. He's going to be tackled by a host of Trojans. Number 45, Sean Harms-Benefold, the main tackler there, so nice job. Pickup of 2 yards. No, pickup of no yards there. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10. Linebackers tonight going to be number 33, Vaughn, number 3, Price, number 4, Braxton Daniels. Safeties are going to be 9, Groce, 1, Norton. Corners are going to be 8, Oliver, and number 5, Garrison. Going to be a handoff to the outside here. Trojans do a good job. Really nice work there by number 4, Braxton Daniel. Blocker was coming at him. Daniels faked to the outside. Blocker shot out there to try to get him. Daniel cut inside. Made a square-up tackle after a gain of about 4 yards. That's going to bring up 3rd and 5 for the Ramblers. Nice job defensively there for the Trojans. Good tackle there by Braxton Daniel. Gonna have a single receiver at the top of your screen. 2 wingbacks, 2 tight ends here. It's going to be a handoff to the outside to number 2. Not going to be a ton of running room. He's going to be tackled about a yard short of the 1st down. Looks like that tackle was made by number 33, Lane Vaughn, one of the leading tacklers from last week. And that's going to bring up 4th and 1 for the Ramblers. They have not run on the punt team yet. We'll see. Be pretty gutsy here for them to go for it, but we'll see. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a quick kick from their quarterback. He's not in the shotgun though, potentially trying to get the Trojans to jump off sides here. Oh, and we do. Got to be smarter than that. One thing they're going to try to do is jump us off sides. They were probably prepared to call a timeout. Defensive end did jump off. That's going to give the Ramblers an easy 1st down after some nice defensive work there by the Trojans. So football is now all the way up at the 31-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Ramblers. Going to have 1 receiver at the bottom of your screen, which is number 1. Still that wing tee set. Going to be one of those outside handoffs again. Actually get some running room. Tackle's going to be made by number 1, Landon Norton, after a pickup of about 6 yards. That's going to bring up 2nd and 6. jet play there. Trojans did a good job jumping to the outside, but that left an alley up the middle, back cut it up. Fortunately, Norton came up from the safety position, made a nice tackle, but not before the back picked up about 6 yards. That brings up 2nd and 4. Single receiver again at the top of your screens, number 8. Ball's going to be handed off again to the outside. A lot of running room there. Again, Norton with the shoestring tackle, but again, about a 7-yard pickup. So that's going to be 1st and 10 again for the Ramblers. Ball now sits all the way at the 47-yard line. Ramblers are threatening to cross into Trojan territory. Norton's flying upfield here on some of those tackles. Love to see that. Watch for later if we don't see a little bit of play action from the Ramblers. It's hard to do out of this wing tee. We'll see what they decide to do. Going to be another handoff to the outside. Going to be tripped up. Tackle is going to ultimately be made by 44 and 3 and 66. So nice job there from Price and Joseph Murtaugh there on the tackle. It's going to bring up 2nd and 9. Back tried to cut it up again there, just unable to make much progress. Single receiver at the bottom of your screen, wing T everywhere else. Got a motion back. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. He gets smoked by number 33, Vaughn, and then a host of Trojans help make that tackle. Credit for that tackle is going to go to 33, Vaughn. After a pickup of 3, that's going to bring up 3rd and 5. Though the Ramblers did cross over into Trojan territory, ball sits at about the Trojan 48-yard line. Looks like number 70, Joseph Mason's coming off. Number 58, Hasty's in. Number 66, Murtaugh's also in. Tight set here at the bottom of your screen. A lot of motion here. Going to be a bit of a drop back. Then the quarterback, number 16, takes off, gets a nice run, gets pushed out of bounds, but does pick up the 1st down after gaining about 9 there. So nice run there by the quarterback, pushed out of bounds by number 4, Braxton Daniel, but that's another 1st down for the Ramblers. Clock continues to run, 5:10 left to go here in the 1st quarter. Ball now sits at the 38-yard line of the Trojans. Wing tees like Novocaine always works. Just takes time. Let's see what the Trojans can come up with here. Put a stop to this. We've got motion. It's going to be actually going to be a counter that gets eaten alive by number 33, Vaughn. Nice work there. Another tackle by Vaughn. That's going to be a loss of 2 yards. That's going to bring up 2nd and 12 from the Trojan 40. So nice job there by Vaughn sniffing out that counter. Putting a nice hit there on the back. Ramblers break the huddle here. Single receiver at the bottom, number 1. This potentially could be a pass down or another one of those QB runs. Trojans will need to be ready for that here. It's going to be a handoff to the outside. Holes created, but nice tackle there by Norton after a gain of about 7. That's going to bring up 3rd and 5 from the 33-yard line. Nice tackle there by Norton. Really good tackle there by Norton. Love the sideline view we're getting from that camera swap as well. So 3rd and 5, probably 2-down territory as the clock runs. Number 8, Oliver in good coverage. Incomplete pass. That's going to bring up 4th and 5 for the Ramblers. Nice coverage there. A lot of hand fighting going on between the 2 players there in Oliver and the receiver. Officials just let it play out. Ball falls harmlessly over the head of the receiver to bring up 4th down. Big play here for the Trojans. A stop here and a score could really put pressure on these Ramblers. Looks like the Ramblers are going to go with a single receiver at the bottom of your screen, heavy set at the top. And the Ramblers are going to have to call timeout. They were a player short on the field, so as they take a timeout, we will take a timeout and go to commercial break.
It's an honor to serve the community that I live in and help it to thrive. Here at Summit Physical Therapy, we focus on getting you back doing the things that you love to do. With years of trusted experience, we're bringing expert healthcare closer to home. It's hometown healing with care that's personal, local, and built around you. Coming soon to our North Georgia communities.
All right, Trojan Nation, we are back from that timeout. The officials are getting a little bit of water here as the Ramblers come back onto the field for this 4th down. It's going to be 4th and about 5. Ramblers have moved the ball pretty well. It's going to be a straight drop back, and we are going to have a sack, number 45. Sean Hartman. That sack is brought to you by Crawfish Springs Custom Cabinetry. Huge loss there. Ball now sits all the way at the 43-yard line, so 10-yard loss, and the Trojans will take over on downs. Nice sack there by number 45, Sean Harms-Benefold. I believe that's the first sack of his high school varsity career. Love it. Looks like the Trojans are going to come out a little differently here. Looks like we're going to have trips at the bottom of your screen. Single receiver at the top. Looks like Vaughn's going to be in the backfield. Looks like a straight drop back. Nope, roll out here. Trojans trying to throw the out route to number 5. Going to be a pickup of about 9 yards, I believe. Not a great spot by the official. Garrison caught the ball as momentum brought him back. They only gave him 5 yards. He caught that ball 9 yards downfield. That was a terrible spot by the officials. Got to do a better job there. He was forced back on the tackle. But still, 5-yard pickup, 2nd and 5 for the Trojans. Ball sits at about the 48-yard line. Vaughn in the backfield, twins up top, single receiver at the bottom. It's going to be a handoff here to Vaughn to the outside. He gets swallowed up. There's no blocking there at the top. It's going to be a loss of about 4, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 9. Looked like some confusion there offensively, like the Trojans were not aware of what was going to be run there. Looks like tight end Price is going to come off the field. Looks like we're going to run an additional receiver onto the field here. We're going to go tight twins, top and bottom. Groce here in the backfield. Obvious passing down from the Trojans. It's going to be a straight drop back. Day's going to survey the field. Receiver was open. Day threw it a little high. That's going to bring up 4th and 9 and force the Trojans to punt. Last week, the Trojans used Braxton Daniel in that rugby-style punt formation. Looks like he's going to be coming out here again. Not sure what the Trojans, like they're confused. Nowhere near 11 players on the field right now. There's the 11th coming out. So see what the Trojans have in mind here. Again, Braxton Daniel is a backup quarterback for the Trojans. So it wouldn't be, bad snap. Braxton's able to field it. Good spiral kick going downfield. Ball's going to bounce. Trojans lost view of it, but the ball rolls out of bounds all the way at the 5-yard line. Trojans got lucky there. Great punt. See what this penalty flag is. Potentially holding or roughing the punter based on where the ball lies. Let's see here. Looks like it's going to be on the Trojans based on the fact that they're talking to the official. Must have been holding there, not sure. I don't know why these always take so long. Either we're going to back up 10 yards and repunt it, or you're going to get the ball to the 5-yard line. You decide. always baffled at why these calls are debatable. All right, it is a holding on the Trojans. We're going to back them up 10 yards, and they're going to have to punt again. So that's going to negate that beautiful punt there by number 4, Braxton Daniel. Try to keep an eye on it this time. Last week, Tryon was caught off guard by the rugby-style punting of the Trojans. Would not expect the Ramblers to be caught off guard. They've been watching film all week. They know what the Trojans are going to do. Potentially sent somebody from the backside who got held based on where that flag was, but never really got a good look at it. So now the ball sits all the way back at the 34-yard line, and Daniel's got to boot this punt again. Remember that last snap rolled across the ground. Fortunately, this snap's better. This kick is not bad, but it's low and going to be able to be fielded. Tackle's going to be made by number 5, Garrison, number 3, Price, and number 15, Connor Jenkins, bringing the thunder on the backside there. The ball does come all the way up to the 49-yard line. So 44-yard difference in field position based on that holding penalty. Sure, Coach Groce and the coaches will have something to say about that to the team when they watch film on Monday. That's a huge shift in field position that the Trojans gave up with that holding penalty. But Trojans were able to withstand the last possession as the Ramblers moved the football. Let's see if they're able to withstand this one. Single receiver up top, wing T everywhere else. We run down the backside, does have a little bit of a running lane. Nice tackle there by number 9, Groce, using the speed after a 3-yard gain. Ball does cross midfield, but it'll be sitting at the 49-yard line, 2-yard gain there. That's going to bring up 2nd and 8. That back did have a little bit of a lane to run. Groce used that speed, came flying out of nowhere, and made a nice tackle there on the back to hold it to only a 2-yard gain. So 2nd and 8 here for the Ramblers. Single receiver at the top. Gonna be a handoff up the middle. Big hit by number 33 Vaughn, number 3 Price for a gain of about a half yard. We're gonna call it a gain of 1. That's gonna bring up 3rd and 7 there. Nope, no gain, so 3rd and 8 there. So nice job there by Price and Vaughn, both of them playing middle linebacker, sniffing that out and bringing the heat. Stereo's playing here. Big money down here for the Trojans. Ball sits at the 49-yard line. Trojans are looking to get this football back. Single receiver at the top. Pass it down. It's going to be a straight drop back to number 16. He does have pressure put on him. Ball is called, but it's not going to be far enough for a first down. The official at the top of the screen did give a better spot to the Ramblers than they gave to us on our catch, but that's going to bring up 4th and about 2. Ball does sit at the 43-yard line. Ramblers rush to the line. Defensive line of the Trojans has to be smart here. Can't jump off sides like we did last time. Going to be a quarterback keeper right up the middle. Trojans were trying to be smart, not jump off sides. They did not, but easy first down. Quarterback drops the ball there and is now a little bit hobbled there. Not sure what's going on. I don't know if he got a shot to the shoulder or what, but the quarterback there for the Ramblers is having to come off the field. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter as the Ramblers coaches are going to take a look at the quarterback. As we take a break for the first quarter, we will go to commercial break.
The Trojan Club raises money to support all athletics at Gordon Lee High School. 100% of all proceeds benefit our student athletes, and we'd like to say thank you.
We love our renovated dugouts and video board.
Thank you for covering all drug testing and our athletic fees.
We appreciate the drones and the Titan GPS trackers.
Thank you for our custom whiteboard and our upgraded lockers.
If you want to be a part of this greatness, scan this Venmo code and donate to the Trojan Club today.
I'm Jimmy Sprayberry, class of '79. I grew up here in Chickamauga. Krista and I raised our children here.
All right, folks, we are back to start this second quarter. First down and 10 for the Ramblers. The quarterback for the Ramblers did step off the field. They've got number 1 in at quarterback, single receiver up top, wing T everywhere else. Going to be a quarterback keep, going to be a pitch to the outside. Nice tackle there by number 1, Norton, for a loss of a yard. Trojans did a really good job putting some pressure there on the back. Groce just stepped off. Looks like number 20, Curry's going to step in. Looks like Groce may have been hitting the nose there. Going to get looked at by the trainer. Number 20, Curry, rushes back onto the field. We got 2nd and 11. Ball sits at the Trojan 41-yard line. Looks like the Rambler quarterback, number 16, still on the sideline being looked at here. Be a handoff to the outside. Tackle's going to be made by number 4, Braxton Daniels, and cleaned up by number 33, Lane Vaughn. Gain of no yards. That's going to bring up 3rd and 11. So nice job there by Daniel and Vaughn on that tackle. Big 3rd down here for the Trojans. Single receiver at the top, wing T everywhere else. A little bit of emotion. Going to be a rollout to the right side. Price putting pressure, and that ball is picked off by number 4, Daniel. This ball is going to be taken all the way to the house. Touchdown, number 4, Braxton Daniel. And that is going to be another Summit Physical Therapy INT and a Jordan Dupree United Real Estate Experts touchdown. Hang on a minute. Is this going to get called back? What's the call going to be here? Oh, he stepped out of bounds on the interception, maybe. Is that what it was?
Ball is placed at midfield. It'll be first down 10 Trojans.
So it's not going to be a touchdown, unfortunately. But it is going to be first down Trojans after that interception. Price put pressure again on the quarterback. He just throws it up. Ball's picked off by number 4, Braxton Daniel. Apparently stepped out of bounds. But the Trojans take over at midfield, 1st and 10. Looks like Vaughn's going to be in the backfield here. Looks like we've got number 17, Levi Meacham, in at that H-back tight end position. Going to be a handoff to Vaughn on the outside. He's going to have a ton of running room. Nice blocking there by number 17, Meacham, as well as number 5, Noah Garrison. Going to be a pickup of 16 yards, and that football goes all the way down to the 34-yard line. Looks like Vaughn's going to come out. Number 3, Price, who was one of the feature backs last year, has come in.
First down 10 Trojans.
1st and 10 for the Trojans. This is going to be a handoff to Price directly up the middle. He's going to take the ball all the way down for a 10-yard gain, and that's going to be a first down Trojan. Nice blocking and run there.
First down 10 Trojans from the Ramblers 25.
So first down and 10 for the Trojans at the 25. Price remains in the backfield, single receiver, top and bottom. Going to be another handoff up the middle to Price. He's going to pick up 5 yards, 6 yards. Ball goes all the way down to the 19-yard line. So nice job there, Price, giving Vaughn a spill. Number 9, Groce, trying to see if he had come out earlier. Looked like he'd been hitting the nose. Looks like he's still on the sideline getting looked at by the trainer. Fortunately for the Trojans, they've got a stable of backs who can give him a break. This is going to be a handoff to Vaughn up the middle. He gets hit early, picks up about 3. That's going to bring up 3rd and 2 there for the Trojans. Ball now sits at about the 17-yard line. Need to get the ball to the 15-yard line for a Trojan first down, but definitely 2-down territory for the Trojans. Shout out to the offensive line here for the Trojans, doing a really nice job. Looks like number 19, Honor Smith's in at that H-back position as a freshman. He does a nice job blocking here. Vaughn directly up the middle, carries the football all the way down to the 4-yard line. And that's going to be first and goal from the Trojans from the 4. Nice block there by number 19, Honor Smith, the freshman. He's also the one of the quarterbacks for the JV here. Going to be another handoff to Vaughn up the middle. He gets hit early, but he is strong. Unfortunately, we're going to have a flag. So it is a touchdown for the Trojans, but I expect this to get called back. Looks like a backside holding here. It's probably going to take the football all the way back to about the 14-yard line, first and goal for the Trojans. So Vaughn's going to get a breather after those 3 big runs. Looks like Honor Smith's going to come out. Nice job there by the freshman. Number 45, Murtaugh's coming back in, and number 3, Price, coming back into the backfield. Tough holding call there on the backside. Trojans have had some opportunity from a holding penalty standpoint. Ball did move all the way to the 14. It's going to be first and goal for the Trojans from the 14.
First and goal from the 14.
Trojans have been running the ball well here. Let's see if that continues or if they think they need to pass now that it's first and goal from the 14. Price remains in the backfield, single receiver, top and bottom. Here's a snap, handoff to Price. He goes up the middle. He's going to take the football all the way from the 14 to the 9, so a pickup of about 5 is going to bring up second and goal from the 9-yard line. Clock continues to run. We're down to about 8 minutes left to go here in the half. Here's a snap again. Another handoff to Price straight up the middle. He's driving his feet, getting pushed. Takes the ball all the way down to the 4-yard line. So that's going to bring up third and goal from the 4 there. Trojans consistently getting 5 yards every single carry. He's going to come off for a breather. Number 33, Vaughn's going to come in here. Definitely 2-down territory for the Trojans. Here's the snap, handoff to Vaughn up the middle. He gets hit early, not sure he's going to make it in. Takes it to the 3-yard line, so that's going to bring up fourth and goal from the 3. Trojans are going to need some blocking here. So fourth and goal here for the Trojans from the 3-yard line. A lot of the Trojans with hands on knees, a lot of the two-way players. Trojans are going to need to bow up right here and punch this thing into the end zone. Groce is letting the clock run. I think he can tell his team's getting a little tired here. Wouldn't be surprised if he called a timeout here after letting this clock run down to give his team a breather. Play clock's down to 6 seconds. Groce is very close to the official here, and he is going to call a timeout. Smart decision there by Groce. He saw his team getting a little tired, going to need all the energy they have here to punch this football in. So while the teams take a break, we'll take a break.
I bought my very first home here 22 years ago.
Since then, this town has become more than a place. It's my community, my passion, and my purpose. I've helped families grow, empty nesters downsize, and dreamers take their first big step.
Whether you're buying or selling, remember me. Let's write your next chapter together.
All right, folks, we're back. It's fourth and goal from the Trojans from the 3-yard line. The Trojans scored but had a backside holding call, which put the ball all the way back, first and goal from the 14. A couple big runs by Price got the Trojans down to about the 6-yard line. Big run by Vaughn got us down to the 3-yard line. And now we need one more 3-yard gain and a foot to get that touchdown back that we lost on that holding penalty. See if the Trojans have some trickeration in mind. Looks like they are coming on the field with no quarterback, which is what I expected. This is potentially going to be a Wildcat situation. Let's see who's going to be in the game. I would expect Groce to take this snap. I would expect to see Sean Harms-Benefold, Price, and Vaughn all blocking on this right side for Groce to run it in. Oh, motion. Trojans go to the left. Going to be a snap, going to be a run to the left side on the outside. Groce gets hit, gets it down to the 1-yard line. And so the Ramblers will take over first down at the 1 yard line. Trojans were unable to punch it in after getting that touchdown called back on the penalty. Love the call there, just wasn't able to cut the football up with enough steam to run through that tackle. So the Trojans are going to turn that ball over on downs, and the Ramblers stay in this game. 6 minutes and 21 seconds left. Let's see if number 16 for the Ramblers is back in the game at quarterback. I believe his name is Dax. He's done a good job so far tonight. I don't see him coming back out, though, so not sure what's going on there from an injury perspective. We'll try to get an update at halftime. Looks like number 7 remains at quarterback for the Ramblers. Ramblers are coming out with a very heavy set, no receivers. Would expect them to try to punch this football right up the middle to get it off the goal line. Trojans were able to get a safety last week. See if they can get another one here. Instead, Trojans jump off sides and give the Ramblers 5 yards. Second time the defensive line of the Trojans have jumped off sides. Not what we want to see here, but that's going to be 1st and 5. Ball sits at the 6 yard line now. So Ramblers have a little bit more room to work there. Trojans with another unforced error. Right now, that's the only thing keeping the Trojans from being up about 3 scores here. Heavy set at the top of your screen. No receivers in the game. Run to the outside, tackle. Oh, no, big hits made. But tackle's unable to be made. Pickup of 6 yards. Ball goes all the way out to the 11. And that's going to be first down for the Ramblers after that run. Good that we're seeing Groce back on the field. So whatever was ailing him has been corrected. Clock continues to run. 6 minutes left. Ball sits at the 11 yard line. 1st and 10 for the Ramblers. Again, they are going a heavy set. No receivers in the game at this time. Be a handoff, cut up the middle, nowhere to go there. Ball's going to stay at the 11 yard line. Not sure who made that tackle. Potentially 33 Vaughn again. Nope, 45 Harms Minifold with the tackle. And that's going to bring up 2nd and 10 for the Ramblers. Clock is down to 5 minutes, 27 seconds here in the first half. Not sure what kind of passing game the Ramblers have without their starting quarterback in the game. So the Trojans have been keying on the run here and done a good job stopping it. Outside of that offsides, defensively, Trojans have looked pretty good. Again, no receivers in the game. Really tight set, both top and bottom of the screen. Going to be jet motion to the outside. Not a lot of running room there. Vaughn's going to make the tackle. Again, no gain. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10 for the Ramblers. Nice job there by Vaughn. Defensive end at the bottom of your screen. I believe it was Sean Harms Minifold did a nice job there stretching that out, giving him time. So we've got 3rd and 10 here as the clock runs down to 4 minutes and 24 seconds. Reminder that the Trojan Band will be performing at halftime. So we do have a receiver at the top of your screen now. Obvious. Oh, ball's fumbled. It's picked back up, but it's going to be another loss of about 1.5 yards. Little scuffle at the top, but Braxton Daniel, number 4, wisely walks away from that skirmish. And this is going to force the Ramblers to punt. Might be an opportunity for Groce to call a timeout here to stop the clock. Clock ticks down to 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Be about 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining when this punt happens. Looks like number 8, Bryson Oliver, is going to be back to return this punt. He's going to stand at about the 45-yard line of the Ramblers. We've got a fake going on. Nope, we've got a punt. It's going to be fair caught at the 45-yard line, but it looks like we've got a holding penalty. We'll see what Coach Groce wants to do here. I would anticipate Coach Groce declining this penalty. The Trojans taking the ball at the 45-yard line with the clock where it is. But let's see what conversation we have. So it's going to be an illegal shift on the Ramblers. And that penalty is actually going to be enforced after the kick. So the ball should walk up to the 40-yard line. So that worked out great there for the Trojans. They dial kick. Oliver did a nice job fair catching it at the 45. We're going to step off this 5-yard penalty. Should step off this 5-yard penalty to the 40, but let's see here. They're talking about it a lot. Let's step it off and get going here. The ball now sits at the 40-yard line of the Ramblers. Looks like Groce number 9's back in. We're going double twins here, so no tight ends in the game. Trojans trying to spread out the Ramblers. Would not be surprised if we saw a Groce run up the middle here, see if he can beat this single linebacker. It's going to be a handoff to Groce. Not a lot of running room there. He gets hit pretty hard, gain of no yards, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 10. Groce didn't have much of a lane there to run through. Trojans are going to have to sustain those blocks for a little bit longer, give Groce just a little bit of a crease so he can use some of that speed. We haven't had a chance to see much of that tonight as he's been fighting through tacklers early and often. So we're going to go tight double twins this time. Groce in the backfield. Going to be a rollout pass here. Throw to number 5, but nice play by number 19 from LaFayette. He was step for step with number 5, Garrison. Ball hit Garrison in the hands, but as soon as the ball touched his hands, that DB was raking across that. That's going to bring up 3rd and 10 for the Trojans. Looks like the Trojans will remain in this set here. Double twins. Groce again in the backfield, right behind Day. Here's a snap, going to be another rollout. Day goes deep to the sideline. Great catch by number 8, Oliver. That catch would have been good on a Sunday in the NFL. He gets both feet down. Heck of a first down there, and that first down was brought to you by Bryson Oliver and Beth Price with Keller Williams. So the Trojans now have 1st and 10. Clock sits at 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Football sits at the 29-yard line. Looks like Trojans now have brought in the tight end number 19, Einer Smith, and number 33, Lane Vaughn. Vaughn's going to get the handoff up the middle. He gets hit early, but he's going to pick up, looks like 3 yards, going to bring up 2nd and 7. However, the clock has not started running yet. Well, now it has. We'll take every free second we can get here as the Trojans work to get the ball into the end zone. Vaughn remains in the backfield. 19, Einer Smith remains at the tight end position. Looks like we're going to have twins at the bottom of your screen with Garrison and Ross, and then number 1, Norton, all alone at the top of the screen. It's going to be a quick pass to number 5, Garrison. He breaks a couple tackles, takes the football all the way down to the 20-yard line. I believe that's going to bring up 3rd and 1. With a shaken up Rambler player running off the field. Coaches keep telling these players to go down. Starting to look like a college game the way these coaches are telling these players to go down when they're trying to limp off the field. But we're going to take an injury timeout, so we will take a quick commercial break.
Looking for an affordable, convenient way to jumpstart your career? At Georgia Northwestern Technical College, we make education work for you. With hands-on training, many tuition-free programs through the Hope Career Grant, plus a 99% job placement rate means you'll be ready to fill in-demand jobs. Don't wait. Get the skills you need for the job you want. Visit gntc.edu today and start building your future.
All right, we're back, Trojan fans. 2 minutes and 1 second left. We got an injury timeout. Trojans have first down from the 19-yard line as they're trying to punch one in. Trojans got it all the way down to the 1-yard line their last possession, but were unable to score. They actually did score, but had a holding penalty, took it all the way back to first and goal from the 14, and then were able to get it all the way back to the 1-yard line, but not able to punch it in. Looks like we've swapped tight ends out. Number 3, Price is in. We got twins at the top of your screen, single receiver at the bottom. Vaughn in the backfield. Here's a straight drop back pass. Ball's going to be thrown high. Almost caught at the 1-yard line by number 6, Ross. It was a contested throw. Ross did a good job going up, finding the football. Just couldn't quite hang on there. Would have been an incredible catch had he made it, but that's going to bring up 2nd and 10 from the 19-yard line for the Trojans. Game clock is now down to 1 minute and 52 seconds. Trojans, I believe, have 2 timeouts remaining. Vaughn remains in the backfield. Going to be a straight rollout. This is a great opportunity here. Good pass out to number 8. Oliver, he's going to pick up a first down. So big gain there of about 12 yards. Great pitch and catch. Looks like number 19, Einer's coming in. Going to go 2 tights here with Einer Smith and Logan Price. Single back with Vaughn. Single receiver top and bottom with Norton and Ross. Would expect to see a handoff to Vaughn towards that right side behind Smith and Price. Oh, Smith and Price go in motion to the left. As expected, handoff up the middle right behind those 2 guys. Football gets all the way down from the 8-yard line to the 4-yard line. And that's going to bring up 2nd goal for the 4 for the Trojans as the clock continues to run. Trojans are going to want to milk every second of this clock before scoring that they can. After that run, Vaughn's going to come out. Groce is going to come in. Looks like Price and Einer Smith both will remain in the game here. Double tight end look. The double tight ends at the bottom of your screen here. Let's see if they go in motion. They're going to pull. Groce is going to take it directly up the middle, and that is going to be a touchdown for Peyton Groce and your Gordon Lee Trojans. That touchdown's brought to you by Jordan Dupree, United Real Estate Experts. Heck of a job there blocking from the offensive line. Groce using power to punch it in. And that's going to make the score 13-0, pending this extra point from Ira Grimes. A couple first downs on that possession brought to you by Beth Price at Keller Williams, and that touchdown by Peyton Groce gives the Trojans the 13-0 lead with 1:03 left to go here in the half. Daniel set to hold here. Here's the snap. Hold is down. Kick is up. And kick is good. And your Gordon Lee Trojans lead this contest 14-0 with 1:03 left to go here in the second quarter. That possession was mostly hard-nosed running down the field. A couple nice passes by Day. Great catch. A couple great catches by Oliver. One by Garrison. And a touchdown run there from 4 yards out by Groce. Trojans need to hold these Ramblers for the next 1 minute and 3 seconds and then take the football back after halftime. Remember, the Trojans lost the toss, or won the toss, decided to defer, so we kicked off, but we were able to recover the kickoff. So actually went on offense first, scored a touchdown. And then we get the ball at halftime. So can't really ask for more than that. The Rambler Band is getting ready to perform at halftime. And then your Gordon Lee Trojan marching band will be performing Neon Ocean, so please stay tuned for that. Little different look here from a kickoff perspective. Grimes is going to be back to kickoff as he has twice already tonight, but he is kicking from the hash. Here's a high kick. It's going to come down at about the 12-yard line. Tackle's going to be made by a couple of Trojans. Looks like number 17, Levi Meacham, number 3, Logan Price. That ball got ran all the way back out to the 30-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 with 57.2 seconds left in the half for the Ramblers. See if the Rambler QB is back on the field here. Looked like he potentially got poked in the eye there on a QB sneak. He ran for a nice first down, but he is still out of the game, so not sure what's going on there. Again, try to get an update at halftime. Single receiver at the top of your screen. Motion's going to be a handoff to the outside. Ball's going to get cut up there. A lot of missed tackles. That's going to be a face mask on the offense. Running back reached back, had his hands in the face of number 6. It's going to back him up, but still a big run there. Ball was run right up the outside and then cut back up the middle. We'll see where this ball ends up, but I believe this penalty is going to be. They called this face mask on the defense. Hold on a second. That face mask was clearly on the offense. That is a horrific call. What a terrible call there. Face mask was clearly on the running back. They call it against the Trojans, and the football's all the way down at the 29-yard line of the Trojans now with 45.6 seconds left to go. Trojans are going to have to forget about that horrible call. Trojans are going to have to forget about that horrendous call by the officials and bow their backs here. Looks like the chains got tangled up. The chain crew was so confused by the horrible call. They got the chains tangled up, so we're going to have to take a minute here. That was a clear offensive face mask. Running back was reaching behind him to grab the face mask of the defender. And so now they're giving the players a bit of a timeout to set the chains. Groce is out there talking to the official. The white hat didn't make the call, so he's holding his hands up like, I don't know what happened, but horrendous call. Everybody in the stadium knew that was an offensive face mask. I'm frustrated, but the players are going to have to get over it here, get back on the field, and put a stop to this Rambler drive. Trojans currently up 14-0. Last thing you want to do is give up points here and give the Ramblers any momentum going into the second half. Ramblers are going to come out with one receiver, bottom of your screen. See if the Trojans can bow their backs here, make a play. Going to be a handoff to the bottom of your screen, cut up the middle. Tackle is going to be made by number 3, Price, after a gain of about 3 yards. It's going to be a timeout for the Ramblers. So nice tackle there by Price. Ball gets to about the 25-yard line. And since we went to a timeout, we'll go to a timeout.
It's all Navy, baby, and we stand with them. At Jet Energy, we fuel progress, when and where you need it. Reliable, on time, every time. Because community isn't just where we work, it's who we are.
All right, folks, we are back. 33.9 seconds left to go here in the half. Ramblers have moved the ball all the way down to the Trojan 25-yard line with a nice run and a very questionable face mask call. Last play was a pickup of about 3. A nice tackle by Price. Tight single receiver here. Got motion. Going to be a double reverse, and nobody's going to be on the backside. That's going to be an easy touchdown for the Ramblers. Nice design play there for a touchdown by the Ramblers. And that's going to make the score 14-6 with 24.3 seconds left to go here in the quarter. Really well designed play. Trojans over pursued. Ball was reversed, and nobody was on the backside. Play clock's down to 23 seconds. Ramblers having trouble getting their team out on the field here for this extra point as they attempt to make the game 14-7. Official had to run down the field, call a timeout, and that'll be the last timeout here for the Ramblers. And as they take a timeout, we'll take a timeout.
We love our Gordon Lee Trojans.
Come shop with them.
So watching the replay on that reverse, really well designed play for that touchdown by the Ramblers. So now the Ramblers out of timeouts, set to kick this extra point to make it 14-7 with 24 seconds left to go here in the half. Here's a snap. It was a high snap. Kick is up, and kick is good. That makes your score 14-7. Your Trojans still lead with 24.3 seconds left to go in the half. Trojans a little frustrated there. Did not want to give up any points, but did. And so now we'll see how aggressive they want to get on this from a kickoff return perspective. They would need to get a big return here, or I would expect Coach Groce to take a knee, take it into halftime since the Trojans get the ball to start the second half. Ramblers took a little bit of the momentum there. See how the Trojans respond. Also noticing got about 395 people currently watching. 395 people currently watching the stream, so appreciate that. All these commercials you're seeing are folks who have donated to the Trojan Network to make this possible. So please, 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 if you get an opportunity to shop at one of these local businesses or use one of these local services, please do so. And let them know you're there because you saw them on the Trojan Network. Ramblers set to kick off. Groce back deep. Looks like Norton and Oliver are your up backs. Price, Ross, and Curry. This ball is going to be kicked high and going to roll out of bounds, so the clock never runs. Football is going to come all the way up to, I believe, the 40-yard line, if I'm not mistaken. So be a good field position for the Trojans after that kickoff. They could potentially force another kickoff. Let's see what they do here. So it looks like the Trojans are going to back them up and force another kickoff. Would have been decent field position, but not the field position Groce wanted in order to try to push this ball downfield. So we'll back them up, I believe, 10 yards. Ball will now be kicked from the 30. And we'll see if the Trojans can get a little bit better field position. Official seemed confused.
Penalty places the ball at the 35-yard line. We have free kick.
So kicking that ball out of bounds cost them 5 yards. They're going to have to re-kick. So the Trojans are going to move up a little bit here. So you've got Groce now standing at about the 15, about the 12. Trojans hopefully pick up a little bit more yards. So they would have had the ball to 35. Let's see what the redo does here. It's going to be a deep kick, going to be caught at about the 6-yard line by Groce, but he is going to have some room to run, and there's a bit of an alley to the outside. He finds a hole, takes the ball all the way to the 38-yard line, so better field position than they would have had, but unfortunately gave up 12 seconds in order to get those 3 yards, so probably didn't turn out as good as we wanted to. Groce did have a bit of an alley a couple times there. It's going to bring up first down from the 38-yard line. Trojans are going to go trips at the top of your screen. Single back in the backfield, single receiver at the bottom. The Ramblers don't have another timeout, so that should be a penalty. That's the fourth timeout the Ramblers have taken, I do believe. They called one to start the game. They called one on an extra point. They called one down here. Yeah, the Ramblers don't have a timeout to take. But we're still allowing them to stand over there and chat. This officiating crew has been less than stellar to start the day here. He's claiming it was that one of those timeouts was an official timeout. It's not accurate. They have had official timeouts, but that is the fourth timeout the Ramblers have called. Unbelievable. That should be a 15-yard penalty. Trojans should be sitting on their side of the football with 12 seconds left. This officiating crew is really struggling tonight. So the Trojans are going to go double twins. Single back in the backfield. Fans here for the Trojans are a little frustrated. Officiating has been questionable at best. This will be a straight drop back here from Day. He's going to try to go deep into the outside to number 1, Norton. Unfortunately, Norton falls. We're going to need to call timeout here. It'll be 4 seconds remain. Ball's going to sit at about the 46-yard line. Unfortunately, Norton slipped before he could get out of bounds there, forcing the Trojans to take that timeout. But the Trojans actually have a timeout left. In fact, they have 2 left, now 1. So they're able to take that timeout there. Coach Groce extremely frustrated with some of the things that are happening tonight. Couple poorly timed penalties by the Trojans. Couple questionable calls. We've made this game much closer than the Trojans wanted it to be going into halftime. Again, Trojans lead 14-7 with 4 minutes and 1 second remain. Not sure. Day's got a great arm. Not sure he's got a big enough arm to throw this one into the end zone on a drop back. That'd be about a 65-yard throw. So be interested to see what kind of trick play the Trojans have here for a situation like this. Do we have a little hook and ladder? Fumble-rooski? Who knows? Looks like we're going to go 3 receiver. Nope, hang on. Let's see. 2. Nope. 2 receivers bottom of your screen. Single receiver at the top. Looks like number 19, Honor Smith's going to be in at tight end. Groce in the backfield. Love to see Groce run straight up the middle here on a streak. out of the backfield. See if we can hit him over the middle with a couple of corner routes. Going to be a rollout. He's going to try to throw a wheel route to Groce. Groce is going to catch it. Unfortunately, going to be nowhere to go. He's going to take that ball all the way down to the 30-yard line. So that would be a Beth Price Keller Williams first down to end the half, but not what the Trojans wanted there, folks. So that's the end of the first half. Your Gordon Lee Trojans lead 14-7, and they'll get the football back to start the second half. Everybody, please stay tuned as both the LaFayette Rambler Band and your Gordon Lee Trojan Marching Band will be performing at the half.
Ladies and gentlemen, color guard captain is Caroline Lee, assisted by Layla Baker and Ryan Hunt. The drum captains are Carter Wilson and Jackson Scott. Band lieutenant is Annika Hughes, and the band captain is Jaden Wilson. Featured soloists include Jaden Wilson and PJ Lanier. Drum majors Wyatt Smith and Paul Coker and Bree Stevenson. Is the band ready? Ladies and gentlemen, the LaFayette Wrangler Marching Band. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field your important lead marching Trojan Band. Halftime show entitled The Neon Oasis. Live by epics about finding hope after a dystopian disaster. Soloists include Kate Johnson, Michaela Waltermeyer, Cash Cherry, Paxton Connors, and Emily Moore. Drum major Olivia Wise. Is your band ready? You may take the field for your performance.
All right, Trojan Nation, we are back to kick off this second half. We'll see if that has any impact on this game and on our overall internet coverage. We shall see. Do want to give our thoughts and prayers to the starting quarterback for the LaFayette Ramblers, number 16. I believe his first name is Dax. Took a pretty hard shot early in the first quarter after a nice first down run. Sounds like he's potentially being evaluated for a concussion, so really just keep him in your thoughts and prayers this evening. Ramblers line up to kick off this football. They did score there late in the second half as the Trojans were up 2 scores to cut this to a 1-score game. So we'll see what the Trojans have in store for these Ramblers here in the second half. Clock ticks down to 1:20 before kickoff here. It's a good thing our man A.J. Edmondson, the scoreboard keeper, just now coming up the steps. Clock's down to 1 minute. Trojans are getting ready to return this kick here. Would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that locker room during halftime. Sure, Coach Groce is not happy with the current score. A lot of different reasons. But the Trojans own the performance here. 13-0 against LFO at half. Groce back deep. Buzzer sounds. Clock's going to be reset to 12 minutes, and we are going to kick this second half off. Officials have now blown the game live, and here we go. Going to be a high, deep kick. That one's going to go all the way to the end zone. Number 3, Price. Single back in the backfield. Number 9, Groce. 12-day at quarterback as expected. Single receiver, Ross at the bottom. Norton at the top. Heavy set at the bottom of your screen here with Price and Sean Harms-Benefold. It's going to be a handoff to Groce. Behind that, nice little alley to the outside. He's going to take this football for about 8 yards. He was already down before that ball came out. But they are going to give the ball to the Ramblers. Back was clearly down. I'll watch the replay, but if this call stands, this is unbelievable. This would just be another in the series of bad calls. Let's see if I can get to the live here to watch this replay. Groce seemed to be clearly down when the ball came out. Hard to tell. Going to need my man to pause it and see if we can see it. But Trojans are now going to have to make a stand. Ball now sits at the 28-yard line of the Trojans. Ramblers are going to take over. Again, they've got their backup quarterback in the game. Replay looks like he's down. Hard to see. Official was closer than we were. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but heavy set at the bottom of your screen. Going to be 4 with the ball. Going to get smoked by number 9, Groce, and now we have another flag. I'm sure this is on the Trojans as well. We'll see. Great play by Groce on the outside there. So it's going to be a legal snap. We're going to back them up 5 yards based on that field position, but great play by Groce there on the outside. Heads up tackle. But we're going to back them up 5 yards. It's going to bring up 1st and 15. Ball's now going to sit at the 33-yard line. Ramblers tried a little trickeration there, tried to leak out the backside, but Groce was ready for that. We're blowing the whistle. I don't understand what's going on. This has been brutal.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have had a phone turned into the press box. It's an AT&T phone. Check your pockets.
It's going to be 1st and 15 here for the Ramblers from the Trojan 33-yard line. Snap's going to be a handoff to the outside. Cuts back. Ball's fumbled. Looks like the Ramblers are able to recover after a 3-yard pickup. Ball gets to the 30-yard line. It's going to bring up 2nd and 12 there. Not sure who calls that fumble. But that brings up 2nd down and 12 for the Ramblers. It's an outside run. Back did a nice job of cutting it back up the middle. Fortunately, the ball was poked out. We're going to have a single receiver at the bottom. Wing T set everywhere else. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. Going to be tripped up. Tackle's going to end up going there to number 66. I believe that's Joseph Murtaugh as the back trip there. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 12 from the 30-yard line. Nice job there by Murtaugh. Got nice pressure pushing that center into the backfield. Back tripped over the center's feet. Murtaugh gets the tackle. Love it. Looks like the Ramblers are going to attempt a field goal here from the 26-yard line. So this ball is going to get kicked from the 33. It's going to be a 43-yard field goal attempt. Trojans are going to need to be cautious here not to rough the kicker as they try to block this. It's a tough field goal anyways. Here's the snap. Kick is up. Kick is no good. Wide right. So the Trojans are able to withstand the fumble, and they will take over with 9:15 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Looks like Vaughn is going to move into the backfield here.
Trojans take over on downs at the 20-yard line. 1st down 10 Trojans from their own 20.
Looks like Price is going to come in here at tight end. Single receiver top and bottom. Trojans take over at the 20-yard line here. Heavy set at the bottom of your screen. Single receiver top and bottom. Vaughn in the backfield. Here's a snap. Vaughn gets hit early, does a nice job breaking a couple tackles. Going to end up picking up only 2 there. Vaughn was trying to run to the right side. There was no alley there. Backside cutback. Got hit low and fell after only a 2-yard gain. So that brings up 2nd and 8. Ball sits at the 22-yard line. More traditional set here. Single receiver top and bottom. Vaughn in the backfield. Going to be a handoff to Vaughn up the middle. He's able to lower his shoulder. Picks up about 5 there. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 4 for the Trojans. Ball now sits at the 27-yard line. Big play right here for the Trojans. Need a 1st down. Keep possession. Allow the defense to rest a little bit. Going to be another handoff to Vaughn. Good block at the bottom of your screen by Price. Vaughn did get the 1st down, though, and that's going to be 1st and 10 Trojans. Price did a nice job sealing the edge. Vaughn was able to get to the outside. Nice hit made there. I decided to grill up a steak, grill up a little asparagus, sat down. I decided to grill up a steak, grill up a little asparagus, sat down, turned on the TV, and some NFL preseason was on. College football starts tomorrow, and it is football season here in the South, folks. Straight drop back here from Day. He's going to throw it wide to the outside, and that is going to be incomplete. It's a good throw there by 12 Day, but it's just such a long throw. Not enough separation between the receiver and the DB. DB was able to break on the ball, create a little bit of traffic there as Garrison tried to catch that ball. So that brings up 2nd and 5 for the Trojans. Something to learn there, though. Receiver clearly broke quickly. Little double move here may hurt him. This one's going to be a handoff to Groce. He's going to shoot right up the middle, break a couple tackles, and that is going to be a first down brought to you by Beth Price at Keller Williams. Ball moves all the way across midfield. Nice run there by Groce. Ball sits at the 49-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Trojans are going to remain with that same double twin set. Groce in the backfield. Snap by Day. He's going to give it to Groce. Groce has got another alley to the outside. He's going to take it all the way to the 40-yard line. 9-yard pickup. And that'll bring up 2nd and 1 for your Trojans. Number 33, Lane Vaughn, comes in. Number 9, Groce steps off after 2 big runs. And I think it might be hammer time, folks. As I was saying, watching that preseason NFL game, that cool weather last night, really got me excited about football season. Now getting to watch these Trojans. Here's Vaughn up the middle. It's going to be a first down and then some. He's lowering his shoulder. He's going to pick up about 11 yards there. And it's going to be a first down, but there is a penalty flag. Looks like it's going to be on the Trojans based on the reaction of one of the Trojans here. So we'll see. Potentially could bring up 1st and 20. Another unforced error here by the Trojans. Looks like it's going to be a holding penalty. But it's a holding penalty at the end of the play, so we'll see how that turns out. Nope, blocking the back. From the spot of the foul, so it's going to be first down. So Trojans still get the first down, but the block at the back happened after the first down there. So we got trips at the top of your screen, single receiver at the bottom, and Vaughn remains in the backfield. It's going to be another handoff to Vaughn up the middle. Sidesteps a couple tackles. He's going to pick up, looks like 4 yards there. Ball's going to go all the way down to the 34-yard line. That's going to bring up 2nd and 6 for the Trojans. So we're going to run a tight end on, and number 45, Sean Harms-Benefol. Number 5, Noah Garrison's going to come off here for this 2nd down and 6 play. Trojans not quite in the red zone yet, but they are in Rambler territory. Give me another handoff to Vaughn up the middle. He's got a nice lane, and he is up the sidelines. Takes it all the way down to the 21-yard line, and that's another Beth Price, Keller Williams first down. Nice run there by Vaughn. Vaughn comes out. Yeah, great camera angle there. Vaughn comes out. Groce comes back in for first down. Trojans are just outside of the red zone at the 21-yard line. Twins at the top of your screen, single receiver at the bottom. Here's a handoff to Groce. He's got a nice little gap. He's going to pick up about 5 yards, 6 yards. So looks like 5 yards. It's going to bring up 2nd and 5, and now the Trojans are inside the red zone here. 2nd and 5. Clock continues to run. We're down to 5 minutes and 40 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Trojans knocking on the door here, trying to make this a 2-score game once again. Groce is in the backfield. It's going to be a drop back by, and that's going to bring up another Beth Price at Keller Williams first down. Great pitch and catch there. Ball sits at the 6-yard line. 1st and goal for the Trojans. Looks like the Trojans are going to go Wildcat here as 12 Day comes out after that great throw. Number 9, Groce, comes in. Looks like he'll be playing quarterback. Ooh, potentially not. Looks like Vaughn will be playing quarterback. Looks like we're going to have a false start here. Vaughn knew in that quarterback role, didn't wait till the receiver got set. That's going to back the Trojans up 5 yards. It'll be 1st and goal from the 11 now. Looks like Day's going to come in. Groce is going to come out. We're going to go back to our traditional looking offense there. Vaughn saw something he liked, just got in a little bit of a hurry there. Had that ball snapped before the offense was set. And so 1st and goal now from the 11-yard line for the Trojans. Got Twins at the bottom of your screen, single receiver at the top. Vaughn in the backfield to the right of Day. Going to be a straight drop back. Number 8, Oliver, is going to be wide open. Pitch and catch. Touchdown, Trojans! And that touchdown's brought to you by Jordan Dupree at United Real Estate Experts. Can see that nice little Z route there. In fake by Oliver. Then he goes to the out. Easy pitch and catch from Day to Oliver. And Oliver used that shifty speed he has to waltz into the end zone for another Trojan touchdown. That makes the score 20-7, pending this extra point from our kicker, Ira Grimes. Grimes is currently 4 for 4 on the season, looking to go 5 for 5. Braxton Daniels set to hold. Here's the snap. High snap, but it gets put down. Kick is up, and kick is good. Braxton Daniel did a nice job there. It was a high snap. He was able to reach up, pull it down quickly. Grimes was able to put it through, and that makes the score 21-7 with 4:50 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. With your Trojans up by 2 scores. This defensive stand right here could be critical in the outcome of this game. If the Trojans can go 3 and out, take one down the field again for a score, go up 3 scores, could take the life out of this LaFayette Rambler team and really put an end to this game. PA speaker playing a little jump around. If you look down at the student section, it's red, white, and blue night. They did ask for some camera time. We'll see if we can get them on. The Trojans get set and ready to kick this ball off. Grimes has done a nice job on all 3 of his kickoffs tonight. See if we can do another solid job here on the 4th one. Officials have blown the whistle, and we are ready to go. Here's a kick. This one's high hanger. If it stays in bounds, we're going to be okay. But that ball goes out of bounds, and that's going to give the Ramblers a football. It's going to give the Ramblers the football at the 35-yard line.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we have a cell phone that has been turned into the press box. Come up here and
Trojans defense headed back out onto the field after that touchdown. Again, Trojans lead 21-7 with 4:50 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Big opportunity for the Trojans to make a stand here. Really, really possible the Trojans could put this thing away with a 3 and out and a quick touchdown. I'm watching the broadcast on my phone, and I love what's happening from a camera perspective. Adding that second camera has really changed the dynamic of the broadcast. Hopefully you're enjoying it at home as well. Trojan defensive line ready to go here. Here's a snap. It's going to be a run to the high, the outside. That's going to be holding on Groce, but they don't throw a flag, of course, so it's going to be a big run. Groce is basically tackled in the backfield right in front of the White Hat. White Hat just watches it, does nothing. And so that's going to be a big run all the way into Trojan territory. The ball sits at the 45-yard line. Groce continues to let these officials have it. They've got to make a call. And now they throw a flag on Groce.
penalty flag on the play.
Unbelievable officiating tonight. Groce is clearly frustrated. They continue to refuse to make calls. And so now they make a call against Groce. Groce is talking about the fact that our safety got tackled at the top of the screen to free up the ability for that run. It was clear, yet no call was made. Then he's asking to speak to the white hat and gets a penalty flag thrown on him. This football is going to be deep in Trojan territory after this penalty. Hang on, let's see what's going on. Looks like they're not. 1st and 10 for the Ramblers in Trojan territory. Ball sits at the 45-yard line. Let's get this game back underway. Trojans defense, time to bow your backs. Let's go. Single receiver at the top, wing tee everywhere else. It's going to be a straight drop back. They're going to try to go deep. No pressure on the quarterback, but the ball's thrown short. And it's going to be incomplete. Ball falls harmlessly to the turf. Receiver had outrun that throw by about 10 or 12 yards there. Great camera angle again. Throw was up in the air. Ball falls about 7 yards in front of the receiver. No chance there. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 10 from the Trojan 45. Here's a snap, going to be a handoff to the outside. Back gets tripped a little, but gets a nice run. He's going to run the football all the way to the 35-yard line. I believe that's going to be a 1st down for the Ramblers.
Ball's placed on the 35-yard line. 1st down, 10 Ramblers.
Looks like we're going to go same set, single receiver at the top, heavy set at the bottom. See if they go motion or run down to the bottom here. Motion's going to be a handoff to the outside. Braxton Daniel does a great job, but isn't quite able to catch him. Smokes number 5, Garrison. Smokes that back, probably 1 step out of bounds. Fortunately, a flag's not thrown there. It's going to be about an 8.5-yard gain. It's going to bring up 2nd, a yard and a half there. Nice play there by the Ramblers. Clock sits at 4 minutes and 17 seconds. Trojans still lead 21-7. No receivers in the game this time. Heavy set. Here's a snap. Ball's going to be handed off top of the screen. Trojans do a good job stretching that out. Nice job by number 8, Oliver, number 9, Groce, and number 66, Murtaugh. It'll be a big loss there. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 8 now. Oh, sorry, 3rd and 6 after that big loss. Looks like Groce is going to come off for a second. Number 20, Dylan Curry, going to come in for him. Single receiver at the top. Motion. Be a handoff up the middle to that big back. Tackles are missed, and he's going to rumble all the way down inside the 20-yard line for a 1st down. Tackle ultimately made by number 5, Noah Garrison there with a little help from number 4, Braxton Daniel. Ramblers are going fast here. See if the Trojans can buckle down. Going to be another handoff up the middle. Oh, no, he kept it. Quarterback kept it there and is able to pick up about 5 yards there. Takes it down to the 14-yard line. Looks like number 9, Groce coming back in. Number 20, Curry coming out.
On the 14-yard line, it'll be second down and 6.
Fullback got stoned at the line of scrimmage. Quarterback pulled it out wisely there. Motion. It's going to be a pitch to the outside. Tackle's going to be made by number 1, Norton, but not before the Ramblers pick up another first down all the way down to the 6-yard line. So that's going to bring up first and goal for the Ramblers from the Trojan 6-yard line. Said the 6, looks like it's the 7. Going to be single receiver at the bottom. Going to have motion, try to hand it up the middle. Trojans do a good job stuffing that with number 33, Vaughn, number 66, Murtaugh. Looks like number 6, Ross, also in there on the tackle. Several of the Trojans with their hands on their knees here. Clock continues to run down to 150. Ball did get to the 6-yard line, so second goal from the 6. Single receiver at the top. Here's a snap, going to be a handoff to the outside to 34. He's going to get hit at about the 3. Able to take the ball all the way down to the 2, actually the 1-yard line. It's going to be third and goal from the 1 there after that run. Can the Trojans muster some strength here? Would expect this ball to get handed straight up the middle to this big back. Nope. Quarterback sneaks straight up the middle. He does not get in. That's going to bring up fourth and goal from the 1-yard line. Nice job there by the Trojan line. Fourth and goal here for the Ramblers. Ball sits just inside the 1-yard line. Big play here for the Trojans. Would expect to see a great camera angle here. Right along the end zone. Heavy set, the bottom, single receiver at the top. Boom! Trojans are going to get the stop, and the ball is going to turn over on downs. Crazy play call there by the Ramblers. Instead of trying to smash it in for that one run, tried a little trickeration, and the Trojan offense, or Trojans defense, stoned that attempt by the Ramblers. Big stop. Ramblers offense walks off the field dejected with 15.6 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Trojans are going to huddle up here on offense. Got to be smart with the football that far inside. Let's see what they try to do here. Potentially a straight quarterback sneak up the middle to create some moving room. Currently don't see which back's going to be in the game. Don't see, maybe potentially could be Price here. Let's see. Does look like 3 Price is going to be in the backfield. We are going to go number 17, Meacham in, the tight end. And they're going to throw a flag here. It's going to be a big penalty on the Trojans. Back them up about an inch. Trojans ran a tight end on late. Looked like Groce and Vaughn needed a rest. So they put Price in the backfield. He's typically playing tight end, so the tight end had to be replaced there. Meacham comes in, and they take half a step to the end zone. It is odd here. Trojans are in the shotgun here, so we'll see what they have in mind. Trojans could get a big run directly up the middle here for a 99-yard touchdown. Going to be a handoff today up the middle. Offensive line's going to drive their feet. Not going to be much of a pickup there. And that's going to allow the clock to run down. And we're going to come to the end of the third quarter. Trojans leading 21-7. We'll flip into the field and come back with 2nd and 10 for your Trojans inside their own 1-yard line. And we will take you to commercial break.
I started helping people buy homes in 2017, and for 8 years, I have been showing up when they need me. I believe relationships drive success. It's about being available when it matters most. My mission? Keep it easy. Buying your first home should feel clear, not complicated. Let's go step by step together. You'll move into your next chapter feeling confident and ready. Whether you're buying, selling, or refinancing, let's take the mortgage journey together.
All right, Trojan Nation, we are back for this fourth quarter. Your Trojans lead 21-7. Trojans were able to make a heck of a stand down at the bottom of at the end of the third quarter there. Ramblers had the football on the 1-foot line, tried a little trickeration. Trojans were able to stone that run, take over on downs. Trojans ran a little quarterback sneak on the last play, got the ball all the way to the 1-yard line from the 1-foot line. It's going to bring up 2nd and 9 for your Trojans. Looks like Vaughn's back in the backfield. Single receiver Ross at the bottom, single receiver Norton at the top. I would expect to see a run by Vaughn here. See if he can get us a little bit of breathing room. If he can break through this initial line. Nope, it's going to be a pass. They're going to go deep to Norton. That's going to be pass interference. Flag comes out. And that's going to be an automatic first down for your Gordon Lee Trojans. And the space the Trojans needed is going to come be a penalty there. But great job there. One-on-one coverage. They underthrew it just slightly, which forced the receiver to run in to Norton. Pass interference. 10-yard penalty. First down, Trojans. Ball comes out all the way to the 16-yard line. So, 15-yard penalty. And that's going to be 1st and 10 for the Trojans from the 16-yard line. Looks like Vaughn's going to remain in the backfield. Looks like we're going to have twins at the bottom of your screen with Ross and Oliver. Single receiver Norton at the top. Looks like number 17 Meacham's in at the tight end position. Motion from Oliver. Going to be a quick handoff to Oliver on the outside. He's got a running lane. He's going to pick up about 7 there before he's tackled. Takes out a couple of Ramblers over there on the sideline. But nice pitch and catch there. That's actually a pass based on the way that ball was handed to Oliver. So passing yards for Day, more receiving yards for Oliver. And a pickup, I said 7, but looks like a pickup of about 5 yards there for the Trojans. So 2nd and 5, ball sits at the 21-yard line for the Trojans. Twins at the bottom, twins at the top, Vaughn in the backfield. Tough snap there, handoff to Vaughn. He's going to pick up, looks like 3 yards, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 2 for the Trojans. Looks like Vaughn's going to come out. Price is going to come in for him, and it looks like number 45, Sean Harms-Benefol, is going to come in. Looks like Vaughn doesn't know Price is in yet. Oh, nope, we're going double tight. So Vaughn's going to remain in double tights at the bottom of your screen. Here's a snap. It's going to be a handoff to Vaughn up the middle. Easy first down all the way to the 30-yard line. And that's another Beth Price, Keller Williams first down for your Trojans. Looks like Vaughn's going to come out. Groce is going to come back on.
First down 10 Trojans from their own 30-yard line.
Single receiver top and bottom. Groce in the backfield. Price at the tight end. It's going to be a handoff to the outside. Good seal block there by Price. Gives Groce a nice little running room. Pickup of 5 yards there. 6 actually. Whoa, hang on. Keeps walking 8 yards there. My bad. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 2 for the Trojans. Looks like both tight ends come off for the Trojans. Yeah, I knew that didn't look right. So we're going with, looks like number 4, Braxton Daniel coming in. We're going to go double twins top and bottom. And we're running out of time here. Potentially going to maybe call a timeout. Play clock's down to 7. Trojans are going to have to hurry up here. 3, snap, handoff to Groce up the middle. He gets hit, but not before he picks up another Beth Price, Keller Williams first down all the way down to the 42-yard line as the Trojans inch closer and closer to Rambler territory here. Clock sits at 9 minutes and 57 seconds left to go here in the game. Looks like number 4, Braxton Daniel comes off. Number 20, Dylan Curry comes on. Double twins, Groce in the backfield. Going to be a quick pass out to number 5, Garrison. He does a nice job. And now we have another flag. Looks like it's going to be a holding call again. We're going to back the Trojans up 10 yards here. So it was a nice pitch and catch. But we did have holding at the bottom of your screen. So that's going to back the Trojans up 10. It's going to bring up 1st and 20. Trojans are going to go double twins again, top and bottom. Vaughn in the backfield. Motion from Garrison. It's going to be a handoff to Vaughn up the middle. He's got running room. He's going to pick up about 18 yards there on that run. Ball goes across midfield into Rambler territory. The ball's going to sit at the 49-yard line, and it's going to be 2nd and 1 for the Trojans. Looks like Vaughn's going to stay in. We're going to run a receiver off. Looks like we're going to be a player short here. See if the Trojans run this play or call a timeout. Hang on. Oh, looks like we do have 11. Looks like we ran on an additional lineman as well. So twins at the top as well as the tight end. Vaughn in the backfield. Going to be a handoff to him up the middle. He's going to pick up another Beth Price, Keller Williams first down all the way down to the 47-yard line. And the Trojans continue to lean on these Ramblers to try to put this game away.
First down 10 Trojans.
Looks like Vaughn's got hands on knees. We'll see. Looks like they're going to take Vaughn off. Run Groce on. Trojans are content to let this clock run. Currently down to 8 minutes and 17 seconds. 10 seconds left to go on the play clock here. Single receiver top and bottom. Groce in the backfield. There's going to be a handoff to Groce. He's going to have a nice little middle run lane. He's going to pick up 5 yards, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 5 for your Trojans. Trojans continue to milk the clock here.
Tackle made by number 21, Maddox Corbin. Gain of 5 yards on the play.
Looks like number 19, Einer Smith's coming in, but nobody's come out yet. Looks like Price is going to come out. The Trojans continue to let this clock run. Down to 7 minutes and 30 seconds left. Groce in the backfield, single receiver top and bottom, and tight end at the top. Looks like we're going to have a timeout. Not sure who called that there, but we will take you to commercial break.
On the field, it's not just sweat you're losing.
you're losing minerals, vitamins, and focus. Let's be real. Water really does suck until you put something in it. Real flavor, no fake junk, electrolytes that fuel performance. Champions hydrate smarter. Water sucks. Fuel that matters.
All right, we're back, Trojan Nation. You should have just seen the Water Sucks commercial. Reminder, if you log on to watersucks.com and place an order, one word, Trojan Network, all caps, you'll get 20% off your order. I actually ordered 2 packs today, one of their energy so I can get off those energy drinks in the morning, and one of their hydration packs for after I leave the golf course. Here's going to be a handoff to number 9, Groce up the middle. We're going to have another flag in the area of holding. So it looks like we're going to back the Trojans up again. Trojans have been heavily penalized this game. Looks like the rain has started to come down here. Nothing wrong with a little rain. Hopefully we can avoid any thunder or lightning so we can get this game in without delay. Looks like Groce came off. Vaughn's back on. Looks like we still have Einer Smith, the freshman, there at tight end. Single receiver, top and bottom. Going to be important that the Trojans hold on to the football here in these wet conditions. Here's going to be a snap. Nice pull there by Smith. Leaves a hole for Vaughn. Another flag comes out. We just cannot seem to avoid these penalties. Another holding call on the Trojans. Going to back them up another 10 yards. It's going to be second about 25 here with 7 minutes to go. Flags just continue to fly. Trojans have got to become more disciplined here. Lots of holding penalties. Love the effort. We got to have our hands in the right places. Fans are upset. There have been some tough calls tonight, but I think these holding penalties have been relatively legitimate. So the Trojans are going to go single receiver, top and bottom. Einer Smith at the tight end. Number 33, Lane Vaughn at the running back. We're going to hand this off to Vaughn on the outside. He gets hit early. He's only going to pick up about a yard. That's going to bring up 3rd and 25. The rain is coming down even harder here. Clock's ticking down to almost 6.5 minutes. See what the Trojans do here. Going to have trips at the bottom of your screen with Ross, Garrison, and Curry. Single receiver at the top. Would not be surprised to see that single receiver throw again. Instead, it's a handoff to Vaughn. He's got a big running lane. Takes it all the way down to the 44-yard line, which is going to bring up 4th and about 6. Vaughn is tired, getting up slowly. He's going to come out. Price is going to come in, and it's going to be 4th and 6 for the Trojans. See what the Trojans try to do here. Going to be important that the Trojans hold on to this football. Looks like Price is going to be the running back. 3 receivers at the top of your screen, single receiver at the bottom. Love to see the Trojans. Going to have a blitzing outside linebacker at the top. If the Trojans could run a little dive right underneath them, be a big play. But the Trojans are going to call timeout here, and we're going to take a timeout with them. All right, folks, Trojans take a timeout here The rain is coming down extremely heavily. Ball sits at the 44-yard line of the Ramblers. Ball boy comes out, switches the football out. Trojans have 4th and 6. We'll see what they try to do. I would expect them to try to get the back to jump off sides. Looks like number 9 Groce coming back in at the running back position.
It'll be 4th down and 7 for the Trojans.
So 4th and 7 for the Trojans here. Trips at the top of your screen, single receiver at the bottom. 5 minutes and 43 seconds left to go in this game. Trojans will remain up 2 scores. See if Groce can bust one here. It's going to be tough to pass in this weather. Handoff to Groce. He's going to be wide open up the sideline. Going to drive his feet all the way down to the 27-yard line. First down, Trojans. Great run there by Groce, and that first down's brought to you by Beth Price at Keller Williams. Looks like Groce is going to come out. Vaughn's going to come back in at running back, so Groce will get a breather. And it's 1st and 10 for your Trojans from the 29-yard line of the Ramblers. Not sure if you can see it on film, but it is pouring here now. Trojans are going to have to work really hard to hold on to this football. 9 seconds left to go on the play clock here. Going to be a handoff to Vaughn up the middle. He's got some running room. Potentially take this all the way down to the 6-yard line, and that's going to be another Beth Price Keller Williams first down for your Trojans. Nice run there by Vaughn. 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. Looks like Vaughn's going to come out. Well, let's see here. Vaughn coming out.
1st and goal, Trojans.
Looks like we're going to go double tight ends, bottom of your screen. Vaughn with his hands on his knees. He's clearly tired. Hopefully he's got the wherewithal to hold on to this football here. 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. Handoff to Vaughn up the middle. He gets hit early for no gain there. It's going to bring up 2nd and goal from the 6-yard line. Clock continues to run down to 4 minutes and 38 seconds. Looks like Vaughn's going to come out. Groce is going to come in.
No gain on the play. It's 2nd and goal from the 7.
Fans are loving the rain. Cheerleaders are going crazy. Paint's flying everywhere on this red, white, and blue night for the Trojans. 2nd goal from the 6-yard line. Going to be a handoff to Groce to the outside. He finds a lane to cut up. It's going to get to the 5-yard line. Actually short of the 5-yard line, so another no gain. 3rd and goal for the Trojans from the 6-yard line. So 2 plays in the row. Trojans are unable to gain a yard. Clock continues to run. We're down to 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Trojans trying to punch one last score in here for a first down. For a touchdown and make it a 3-score game. Play clock's down to 10. Groce is going to get hit deep in the backfield. Tried to run a little bit of a pull there. The Ramblers are going to call timeout, and so we will go to a timeout with them.
When you want to keep up with the Gordon Lee Trojans, you listen to Brent, Jay, Ricky, and all the guys here. But when you want a home mortgage, you should call Payne Mortgage Team, where we are reinventing the mortgage experience. We'll take care of you, we'll even have some fun, and you'll get a brand new house.
All right, Trojan faithful, we are back. 3 minutes and 17 seconds left to go. Is it 4th and goal here for the Trojans? From the 8-yard line. Looks like we're going to bring out Number 26, Ira Grimes, for his first field goal attempt of the season. He is 5 for 5 on extra points, but this is going to be a 25-yard attempt by Grimes to make the score 24-7. Here's the snap. Ball is down. Kick is up. Kick is good. And Ira Grimes nails his first field goal attempt of his varsity career, and that puts your Gordon Lee Trojans up 24-7 with 3:12 left to go here in the football game. Trojans weren't able to punch it in there for a touchdown, but this is a huge, huge turn of events there for the Trojans. Nice job with the field goal. Trojans need one more big stand, and they can start this season 2-0 going into the bye week as they begin to prepare for the Heritage Generals. Update from Heritage, it's 19-13. Heritage is up. 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Sounds like Ringgold and Murray County are in a lightning delay. Grimes is set, ready to kick off here. It's going to be a short, high kick. It's going to be fielded by number 8 at about the 24-yard line. He's going to be tackled by number 17, Meacham, and a host of Trojans at about the 33-yard line. So the Ramblers are going to take over with 3 minutes and 4 seconds, needing 3 scores in order to catch these Trojans.
Ball's being placed on the 33-yard line. First down 10 Ramblers from their own 33.
So Ramblers come out, clearly a passing down, but we'll see what they do here. Going to be a handoff to number 2 on the outside. Tackle's going to be made by number 66, Murtaugh. Gain of 1 yard. It's going to bring up 2nd and 9 there for the Ramblers. Nice job there by Murtaugh working down the line. Rain continues to come down. Heavy set at the top of your screen. Going to be a reverse here to the outside. Trojans are more ready for it there. Groce cuts it off. Tackle's going to be made by number 6, Ross, number 5, Garrison. Pickup of about 8 yards there, 9 yards. Going to bring up 3rd and 1, but the clock continues to run. We're down to almost 2 minutes. Heavy set at the top, single receiver at the bottom. Going to have motion. Going to be a toss sweep to number 2 on the outside. He's cut off. Tackle is going to be, tackle was not made. However, eventually does bring him down for no gains. Going to bring up 4th and 1. Not sure who made that tackle. We made initial contact. He was able to spin out of it. Not sure who made the final tackle there, but the clock continues to run. 1 minute, 27 seconds left to go here in the game. 4th and 1 for the Ramblers. Ramblers are going to come out in that traditional wing tee, single receiver at the bottom. We'll see if they do a handoff straight up the middle. They do that handoff straight up the middle. Tackle's going to end up being made by number 58, Eli Hasty. But the Ramblers do get the first down. Ball's going to sit at about the 44-yard line. Clock will reset, and now it's running with 1:04 left to go in the game. Would expect the Ramblers to run maybe 2 more plays before this game is all said and done. Here's a snap. Going to be a handoff coming to the outside. Cut off at the top by Groce. Going to be tackle made by, it looks like, number 3, Price. Tripped him up there after a gain of about 2. It's going to bring up 2nd and 8. Clock continues to run with only 28 seconds left to go. Would not expect the Ramblers to run another play here. And your Trojans are going to move to 2-0 as they head into the bye week. Great tonight, but we're going to give the local beer company player of the game to number 4, Braxton Daniel. Had an interception, was in on several tackles, so shout out to Braxton Daniel, who is our local beer company player of the game. Your Gordon Lee Trojans move to 2-0. The rain continues to fall. We'll go into the off week and start preparing for the Heritage Generals. Hope everybody has a wonderful night. We are out of here.
Join the Trojan Marching Band and all Gordon Lee students present and past in the playing of our alma mater. I'm staying on you the whole time. I hear you now. I hear you now. I don't have a good shot to go to you. I don't have a good shot to go to you. You're good. You're good. Just zoom in on the studies and stuff. Just zoom in on the studies and stuff. Scoreboard.